just got home, and so the dogs are freaking out. So I'm just going to pause for a moment. Sorry about that. I think my roommate just got home, though. Impeccable timing.
Hey, be quiet out there, you guys.
Maybe that will help. Sorry about that. I will put the timestamp for the beginning of the reading. So today we're going to do the air sign readings. That's going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right, so we'll do Gemini first. And Gemini, if you would, just allow any thoughts or ideas around what you've come to the reading for today to rise to the front of your mind. You can focus on your breathing and kind of just allow those things to sit there in the front of your brain. Relax. And maybe some things will connect that didn't before. And then I will deal out the cards. We can get into the Gemini reading. Yes. Okay. Gemini. This looks like a good reading for you so far. Depending on what it is you want. And I'll put the timestamp here in my phone. Okay. So we'll start here in the past. Oh, hi, Mallory. Thank you so much for coming. So here in the past for you, Gemini, we have the 10 of Cups, and it is showing up reversed. Sometimes when I see this card in this position and this orientation, I read it as a relationship with another person. Could be a love relationship, could be a friendship that has kind of drifted apart. And so you guys have gone your separate ways, but things are still amicable between you. Here in the place of the significator, so this is you in the reading, Gemini. We have the World card showing up reversed. Now, the World card is about closures and endings, coming to the end of a cycle. So we're waiting for something to be finalized out here And it's crossed by the energy of the star. So this is hopes and dreams being fulfilled. One of the signs yesterday in the fire readings also had the star crossing the place of the significator. Down here in the Imam Sili, we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. So not holding on to resources tightly enough, or inversely being too miserly and holding on too tightly. It could be too tightly because that could be what is preventing this cycle from ending. You see that your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled, but there's a cycle that needs to end at this time. And it might be that you're afraid it's going to be painful. And I say that because of the card that's in the final outcome position, but we'll get there in a little bit. Here, from your perspective, we have the King of Swords, Gemini, showing up in your reading as the King of Swords. Somebody who is very discerning, somebody who is able to make very informed decisions, air of air energy. So the King of Swords is very close to elemental air energy, is often associated with Libra. So if you have Gemini and Libra in your chart, you might be defaulting to your Libra placements more this time also. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Swords are air sign energy of all kinds. From an outside perspective looking in, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's showing up in the reverse. So the Eight of Pentacles has to do with long-term procurement of resources. It can be a long-term career, could be something that you've done for money periodically throughout your life, or continuously, such that now you're very skilled in that particular area. Where this card is showing up in the reverse, people might not see that you do actually have a lot of expertise in a particular field. You might need to update your resume or to include things on your resume from the past that you haven't done in a long time. Actually going to clarify with my playing card deck. What is the deal with this Eight of Pentacles here in the reverse? From an outside perspective, what does that mean? Yes, so plans and friends from the past plans that you had made, and past close friends. So maybe even having to do with this situation. And because you've drifted apart from these people, maybe you had previously used them as references, or perhaps they had access to resources and you didn't hold on tightly enough to that connection, Gemini. No, this is not going to be a make or break deal, because as I mentioned before, this is a very good reading. So it's not like bad things are going to happen because of that. But let's see what does end up unfolding because of that situation. Here in the future, I had 2 cards come out. So showing up in the upright is the Emperor. You have control over the situation. We have the Sun card in the reverse. So sometimes when the Sun shows up reversed like that, it just means that things are not the ideal that you wanted. But with the Star card here in the place of the significator and the Sun card in the future like this, I would say that chances are pretty good that a lot of your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled at this time, Gemini. Here in your hopes and fears, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And this is showing up, I think, because of this World card in reverse. You're afraid fortune is going to turn against your favor, but you're not ready to let go of this cycle. These cards are companions, so you can't be at the top of the Ferris wheel the whole time. The Ferris wheel is going to move around and around and around like the cycles of our lives. So where we have this Wheel of Fortune showing up in the reverse in your hopes and fears, I think that is why you're hesitant to let go and allow this cycle to end, Gemini. But because you either held on too tightly or didn't hold on too tightly enough, it's going to be different for all of you. This is a general reading. We have the Two of Cups showing up in the midheaven. So the goal or the destiny of this situation is that a new emotional partner will come into your life. This could be a romantic interest, but it could also be a friend, somebody who ends up being a roommate, something like that. A close emotional bond between you. And in the final outcome, we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. So that's why I feel like there's something that you need to go ahead and bring to an end, Gemini. Allow it to leave your life, because that is going to block this from coming in. And you are the one who ultimately is going to have control over that. This is also juxtaposed against where we had this long-term material resources card, the Eight of Pentacles, such that what you might be needing to let go at this time is a particular job or way that you've been earning money that is no longer going to be part of your best outcome. It might still be a perfectly fine way for you to make money, but it's not going to bring you to the outcome that you desire necessarily. But you're going to know if that's your situation or not. If you're perfectly happy at your job, then probably this is not your reading today. And of course, nothing I say in the readings should have more bearing on your decision making than your own free will. That is going to conclude the Gemini reading for this week. When I'm done over here with the tarot reading, side of the channel and do some crystal scrying using this beautiful piece of fluorite. It's got these yellow and purple bands I love very much. You are cordially invited, but your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. Oh, good, Mallory. I hope it helps. And I do wish you the best of luck. So Libra, if you would like, go ahead and allow any thoughts or feelings related to why you've come here for a reading today. Allow all those things to rise up to the forefront of your mind and just wait there patiently while I deal the cards. And I will enter the timestamp here on my phone. And let's get started. Libra, here in the past, I see some fresh disappointment. And I say fresh because this card is upright, indicating that this disappointment is affecting you into the current situation. In the place of the significator, we have the Moon card. This is Pisces card. It has to do with things being unclear, the path forward not being well lit. Strangely enough, the crossing energy is that of the King of Wands. King of Wands could be a fire sign person. King of Wands is air of fire energy, sometimes associated with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Somebody who leads through their charisma. Somebody who is creative. Could be an entrepreneur even. This could be you in the situation, Libra, or this could be somebody that you're dealing with. Or you could just be dealing with this energy where there's a lot of creative leadership kind of around you, but your own way forward is a bit unclear. Or the way forward with this King of Wands could be unclear. Down here in the MMCLI, the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Fire of fire energy, but it looks like it's kind of being extinguished by that watery energy of the moon. Because things are unclear and there's not a good path forward, the Knight of Wands, which is typically a very fast-moving energy, the fastest moving of all the knights, is not time to act on something. That is how that is coming through. So by not acting on something in the current situation, we'll see how it turns out in the midheaven. From your perspective, Libra, we have the King of Pentacles showing up in the upright. This could represent you in the situation, stable, comfortable, financially solvent. It's this King of Pentacles. somebody with access to all of the material resources that they need. The King of Pentacles can sometimes also be a philanthropist or benefactor to others. From an outside person's perspective looking in, Libra, we have the Eight of Cups reversed. So somebody is seeing that possibly you should, in your own best interest, walk away from something. But that's not what you're doing. But people outside of ourselves don't always know what's best for us. And the right thing for you to be doing right now is probably not very much at all. Because here in the future, we have the Fool, and the Fool is walking forward into the bright new tomorrow without care in the world, the beginning of a new cycle, pure air elemental energy. And that card is showing up upright in the future. So I do think that you see the potential for this new beginning now. But in the future, it is going to be much more concrete. I mean, the future is always much more concrete once you get there. What I mean when I say that is that the choices that you make in the current situation are not going to affect whether or not this new cycle begins. Look at this too. We have this rainbow above the head of the figure on the Five of Cups. And now that Fool is creating that rainbow for themselves. So where you might before have been getting validation from whatever was in these cups here, you will not need that in the future. In your hopes and fears, we have the Page of Swords showing up reversed. Page of Swords. And this is juxtaposed against this King of Pentacles, which is air of earth energy. Page of Swords is earth of air energy. So these are actually reversals of each other in some ways. One of those ways is that sometimes one of the shadow attributes of the King of Pentacles is that one can be too fixed in one's ways and be dealing with antiquated information. And I think that's what you're afraid of here, is that you don't have adequate information available to you about the current situation. And of course, because we're dealing with the Moon card in the place of the significator, that's very likely that you don't have all the information that you need, which is why it's not a great time to act just yet. You will save yourself a lot of stress in the future. So this is the card that has showed up for you in the midheaven, Libra, the Nine of Swords reversed. And as I mentioned before, the Fool is somebody who's very unburdened in their lifestyle. So in order to maintain that and to reduce the stress in your life, whatever is going on right now, the King of Wands can be somebody who's urging you to act in this situation. That is not required of you at this time, Libra. The final outcome is the Five of Wands. And this is juxtaposed against where we have the Eight of Cups reversed. The longer you wait to leave a situation, the more competitive it will be. And that can take all kinds of different forms. So it could be the longer you stay in an industry, the more competitive it will be, especially if it is a creative industry, which is something that could be indicated by the moon and the King of Wands here in the place of the significator. The Five of Wands is also about this creative exchange. Notice that they're all basically at the same level. So they're also, in addition to kind of training off each other and having their own rivalries among the group, they're also exchanging ideas, techniques, combat advice. And at whatever time you leave, you will no longer have those resources at your disposal. But it will be time to start this new cycle. So that is going to conclude the Libra reading for this week. This week. I'm going to go now and do the Aquarius reading. Aquarius. I wanted to let you know, all of you here on the channel, all of your views, your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, ringing the bell for notifications so you know when I go live, and your comments, all of those things are so greatly appreciated. Thank you. And also a big thank you to my loyal and supportive channel members. All right, Aquarius. So just allow anything that you came to the reading for today to rise up to the forefront of your thoughts and wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. And perhaps allow your thoughts to wander a bit and see if there are any associations that take place. Things that seemed previously unconnected. Do you realize that they're actually very connected? Or even vice versa. Maybe you thought something was connected to something else. Turns out it actually was not. Okay. Let me write down your timestamp. And we can get started. Here in the past, for you Aquarius, we have the Seven of Cups, and it's showing up in the reverse. So that is letting us know that in the past you did have a lot of options open to you at one time, and you may have narrowed it down to a few. In the place of the significator, so at the very middle of the reading, and this represents you in the reading as well, Aquarius, we have a sword card, the Three of Swords, showing up in the reverse. So the Three of Swords has to do with strife and discord, and arguments and things like that. So where it's showing up in the reverse, in your reading, people could perceive about you, or you could be the kind of person, rather, who will go to almost any lengths to avoid conflict with the people around you. And because of that, an offer is coming into you with this Page of Cups. Page of Cups can be an offer of love. It can be an offer of money. It could be an offer of just about anything. It's kind of like the bouquet card in the Lenormand, for those of you who are familiar with reading Lenormand. Here in the Imam Silai, so this is going to be the foundation for what happens in the midheaven or the future. What we have there is the Knight of Swords in the upright. This is a housekeeping kind of an energy where we've got two stacks. One is a stack we are getting rid of, and one is a stack we are keeping. This is a very binary kind of discernment. It can be oversimplified. Knight of Swords is fire of air energy. So you could be going through that process currently, Aquarius. Or people could see you as the Knight of Swords also. But that would be kind of contrary to doing anything you possibly can to keep the peace in some ways. Unless that's where you're polarized. That you've gotten to the point where anything that is not keeping the peace, you are rejecting from your life. Here you are, gloriously unbothered. This is from your perspective. The Nine of Pentacles is all about financial freedom. I always call this person the single lady because she can take care of herself. It's financial freedom and the freedom for leisure activities. She's got that bird on her glove. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we have the Nine of Cups and it's showing up reversed. So there's a wish fulfillment that could be there, is what other people perceive about you. But there might be something that people perceive that you're doing to block your abundance. And we do have this Page of Cups coming in. I wonder what he's bringing you, Aquarius. Here in the future, a planning process. The Two of Wands can be about planning a trip, charting a course, or just looking forward into the future, even doing something like this and getting a tarot reading. Here in your hopes and fears, Aquarius. This is going to be juxtaposed against where we have the Nine of Pentacles showing up in your perspective. We have Justice in the reverse. This is Libra's card, the Major Arcana. And when Justice is showing up reversed, you're afraid that Justice will elude you, that you will not get the things that are due to you. But I don't see that happening, Aquarius. But I do think there's a lot of this that's rooted in fear. So that even though the outcome might end up being very good. Oh, that's okay, Salem. Thank you so much for coming. It's so good to see you. Even though the outcome might be what you desire, if you don't address the sources of stress that got you there, it's going to interfere with your good times long term. Here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of this energy. We have somebody who's very much like the single lady, the Empress. I say very much like the single lady because she has abundant resources available to her. Furthermore, the Empress is a passive energy, and so all of those things are brought to her. She doesn't have to lift a finger to receive them. This is Venusian energy, finance and romance. Divine feminine. Sometimes the Empress represents mother or potential romantic partner. The Empress could even be the person making this offer to you, Aquarius. And through that Venusian association, could be a Taurus or a Libra. I did have the Libra card come out as well in the reverse, showing that there might be aspects of this that terrify you, frankly. Let's look at the final outcome. We have the Four of Cups in the reverse. This is reminding you that you don't have all the options that you had in the past, Aquarius, in a certain situation. Now, that can be good, it can be bad. Obviously, if there were choices available previously that are not now that you wanted, you're going to consider that negative. But maybe the thing that you really need that's right in front of your face, you just need to reach out and grab it. This is juxtaposed against this Nine of Cups in the reverse also. So what that indicates to me is that your inability to see the correct option for yourself. I do think there is one. We've got the Knight of Swords here and not the King of Swords. So Knight of Swords being very polarized, very much about right or wrong, yes or no. I think we're dealing with something that's more like a yes or no answer. Even though we don't have choice indicator cards like the Lovers or the Two of Swords. And I don't think it's necessarily like that you would be making like a discrete choice that way. I think it's more about the associations. And it looks like you are in the process right now of creating an environment for yourself, Aquarius, that is much more conducive to harmony and to a better way forward for you. But do just remember that a lot of the opportunities from the past, you need to leave in the past and not worry about them now because they are not relevant anymore. So that is going to conclude the air sign readings for this week. That is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Aquarius. I'm going to go now over to the members side of the channel. And I'm going to do some crystal scrying. I also do personal readings for the channel members over there on the live streams. So if that's something that interests you, you're cordially invited. But as I mentioned before, your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever